Dude, I would live in the bathroom just a week just to smell one of her farts.
We know, Greg.
Hold on, let me ask
There's
you a
no
question.
way.
Why would her farts be an aphrodisiac for you?
I don't believe that they stink. There's no way an ass that girl had some ass, and you know. There's no way that she sat back and said, like this, oh, shit.
I created Species Nutrition with one mission in mind: to provide bodybuilders and serious athletes with no-nonsense supplements that work. I put my name and reputation on every bottle of Species Nutrition products. If you want to be your absolute best, join the evolution.
I got a funny story for you guys. The producer of American Gladiators coincidentally lived underneath them in the apartment complex.
Not Luzwick. Luzwick?
No.
Okay.
No. His guy name was Brian. I forgot his last name. He was like the coordinator of all the producers of the American Gladiators TV show. And he asked me if I knew this girl. And I said, yeah. And I'm actually friends with her boyfriend, Mike Matarazzo. He goes, yeah, Mike. He goes, you know, I lived underneath them for over a year before I met them. And I would hear these screaming fights, you know, fighting over this and that and everything. He goes, and then until I met them in purpose, I thought they were two gay guys living up there.
Because she had that voice, John. John, she would throw farts where she would lift her leg like a dude, shake it, and then like that. You know what I mean?
She was, you know, not for nothing and no disrespect, but that girl was rough.
Oh, dude,
she was the roughest girl. I mean, she is put together in that picture. Let me tell you,
she was like an Arizona fireman,
like sandpaper. Right? It's stuff growing on her face. I mean, she was rough.
She had rough skin. Yeah. But let me tell you something. She threw ass like a dude, bro.
And her voice, that's the deepest voice I've ever heard on a woman. I mean,
hey, Mike.
That's why this guy, Brian, he thought two guys lived up there because when he was hearing them fight, he thought it was two gay dudes.
He would get mad. Matarazzo would get mad because she would throw ass in the gym sometimes and not stop, though. Like this, and then fucking 2 minutes later. And she would lift her leg and shake it. You know, like a dude to lift their leg and they shake that ass like that. And, you know, she'd be fucking... You know, she'd be throwing them air biscuits all over the place. She's quite a girl, you know. But and Matarazzo and her would go at it.
Like crazy. They would fight like cats and dogs.
She was on the fire department, I think, in Arizona or something, right? She was like an Arizona firewoman or something.
Yep. My friend Bobby Strom, who lived out there, would tell me stories also about that. And I think she was talking to him one day, and Matarazzo walked by, and he's like, he goes, I'm leaving. He goes, you know, because Mike was a tough guy, you know. You don't want to in your face, you know.
One of the toughest in our industry ever.
When I was
great guy too.
Tough as anything else. Took him out of the gym because he beat up two guys in the fucking alleyway right there. He beat up two guys.
I don't think there was any person that he was afraid of. Right? No, was there anyone else he was afraid of?
No.
He took a gun. He took a gun. He was outside of Ed Connor's place in Venice, waiting for a ride to the gym. Some gangbanger pulled the gun on him. Really? Is the story. I wasn't there, so I'm not. I cannot verify. Allegedly, he snatches the gun out of the guy's hand. He looks at it and starts laughing. He goes, "You're going to shoot me with that? You need at least whatever he needed." And he gave it back to him, and the guy ran away.
Dude, I was in Gold's with fucking around with him, and that's two cops came in and they pulled him out of there because he had beat up two guys in the fucking alleyway there.
Yep.
I'll tell you who else was bad, though. Nobody. I'll tell you, Charles Glass was supposed to be a pretty tough guy. I don't, just hear, you know, that
Mike looked tough though too. He was a big dude, you know.
Yeah, but
he was a Golden Gloves boxing champ in Boston.
Yes, he was a boxer before he was a bodybuilder.
Yep.
And Mike Christian too, though, was a bad dude. You don't want to fuck with him.
Yep. Him and Tukey, what's his name? Williams started the Crips.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
Yep.
Didn't they? Mike Christian
started a riot, a full-blown riot. He started in South Central LA.
He gave me the Underground Steroid Handbook when back then.
Him and Tukey Williams started the Crips in LA.
I didn't know that he was involved in that. That's crazy. You sure, dude, John? Is that allegedly or is that true?
When I was in prison, I had an altercation, and one of the Grape Street Crips came up to me and he goes, "You know anybody?" I go, "From Venice." He goes, "Yeah." And I go, "Mike Christian." He goes, "You know Mike?" And I go, "Yep."
Wow.
And he ended up actually calling him, and Mike stood up for me, and then everybody left me alone after that.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
And you know what's funny? He's such a good guy too, Mike.
Such
Christian.
a good guy.
I had a blast.
Totally hooked me up in that situation.
You know,
we can get him on the show. He's around.
When I first met him, he was like Mr. California, like that shit.
Right.
And he was working. He used to work for a hotel, and he lived in like the maids' quarters. You know what I'm saying? And he worked.
Oh, really?
He was like a caretaker for a hotel. Yeah. And he was such a good guy. I remember I went over his house and stuff. You know, yep. But he was not to be fucked with. He had a tattoo that nobody saw because it was like jailhouse tattoo. He got, I think, when he was in a group home or something, right? It said Big Mikey or something like that across his chest. You ever see that, John? It's like those like faded jailhouse tattoos. Mm-hmm. And this is back in the friggin' 80s, you know. And back then you didn't see guys like, maybe Don Ross had a, that's it. But you don't see too many guys with tattoos. You know what I mean?
No. I think he might have covered that one. He looks so good. He's like almost 70 and he looks amazing.
Who? Mike Christian? Yeah.
I'm going to pull a picture of him. Hold on.
Yeah. I'm telling you, John, you never saw he has a tattoo. It's very light.
I've seen that.
It's very light. It goes across. You know what it looks like? Those ink pen tattoos.
Where they take a pin and wrap the thread around the end of it and go T7. Yep.
So looks great.
He's 70 years old. Look at him. He looks good. Wow. And he's such a nice guy, though.
He's jacked.
He has that laugh. He has a high pitch like laugh. He's such a good guy. I saw Victor Richards run away from him. Oh my God!
Really?
Oh, yeah. You do not fuck with Mike Christian.
No, he was scared.
So he had to do some shit then to start being the Crips, then, right?
Yeah,
he must.
Well, that's how he grew up. He was like that. He was, grew up in South Central. So,
what did bodybuilding kind of change his life?
Probably, he would say that.
Yeah.
That's Charles Glass, right?
Yeah. Dude, let me tell you something. Of what I hear,
I
hear, Charles can hang and bang. Charles can hang and bang too. He's a pretty tough guy.
Mike was a fucking beast.
Yeah, Mike was.
Iron Warrior.
Such a good guy.
He probably could have won, the Mr. Olympia if he had the head, if he was, had his head, focused on. Yeah.
He looked great when he went to the WBF. You remember the Vince McMahon thing? He looked phenomenal there. Remember
those guys getting paid a lot of money. That's why.
John, remember Platinum Everywhere?
Yep.
That was his company.
Yeah, I used to wear that all the time.
Him and Stridham. Stridham had crazy wear, and he had Platinum Everywhere.
Yep.
Platinum Everywhere. But
they were making good money.
And then Rick Ciotti had the other one.
Body Life.
No, that was Bobby and there was four main clothing brands.
I'll tell you who had
Hoskins
the original.
was the what's her name? No, but Rick Ciotti had a good clothing company.
Snake Adger Dedication Bodywear. That's what they started all that shit started from New York because the breakdancers used to remember that Shabba-Doo in that fucking Breakin', the movie Breakin'. They had the big baggy pants.
Is that where that came from?
Here in New York.
Oh,
I didn't know that was from MC Hammer.
No, he had that. But MC Hammer was later 80s, but that was Shabba-Doo and Breakin'. Remember that? But then Snake
what
Adger
people don't realize, though, Greg, what people don't realize is that on Main Street there, every store was a different bodybuilding clothing store. So they had a main hub where you would go to see all the new styles that they'd have in the window there, and you can go and shop there. But really, most people bought stuff, from stores because they would distribute to all stores all around the country, or you'd buy them online. I'm probably not online, probably through a magazine ad. You'd probably pick,
But you remember dedication started the boat necks. You remember? Because guys would take a sweatshirt.
I
and they would
worked,
cut the neck
remember,
out.
John. Yeah, Greg, I worked at Metro Fit there, which is where their hub was. That's where they were located. So yeah, Snake
Antonio.
Adger is the one who designed all those clothing
Yes.
himself. He was very creative.
Him and his wife Miriam. I remember.
Yep.
I'm friends.
Yeah.
With, we was friends with him back then. But they started all that baggy stuff, and then.
But it's weird that we have no clothing these days. It's just like T-shirts now.
Wait a minute,
There's no.
wait a minute, John. It was Strider, I think, had Crazy Wear, right? It was Crazy Wear, and Mike had Platinum. I think it was Platinum.
Mike had Platinum everywhere. Strider had Crazy Wear.
Crazy Wear. Right.
We just said that 10 minutes ago, Greg.
And then
Where
there was
were you
Body
going?
Alive
got
with
Alzheimer's.
Bobby and Donnie. And then there was Ciotti had a clothing line. I think it began with a P.
I feel like we're
Zubaz.
we're repeating
Zubaz.
ourselves now from 5 seconds ago.
Right.
All right. Well,
It's like a deja vu.
We do have some. Gasp has got some good stuff. House of Pain, Old School. There is stuff, but we don't see the styles from back in the day. I think Old School kind of is probably about as close to that as possible because they're trying to bring back some of the. I used to like those long. Remember the shirts that were long in the back, but they'd be normal in the front.
Yeah.
Have a tail on them, and they'd be like 3/4 sleeves. I liked all that stuff back
I
then.
didn't like those because when you went to the bathroom, you had to gather it all up. Of when you sat down in the toilet,
Exactly.
otherwise
You
the
wouldn't
shirt
shit on
would
it,
be
yeah.
No,
in the
you
hole.
use the back of your shirt like toilet paper. You don't need toilet paper.
You probably used it as toilet
you
paper.
probably
don't you?
used it
I
for
played
that.
high school football. I had to run in the woods and take a shit. I had no toilet paper, so I rubbed the back. I used the back of my
John, can you
toilet
imagine having a life with all your most embarrassing moments and that you shit yourself? It's unbelievable, right?
Dude, I
That's
ran
why
in the
you're
woods.
obsessed with shit so much. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
All right, well, $10. We got to bring Jimmy back. We're trying. The guy doesn't show up. What are we
Actually,
going to
the
do?
DMV story's priceless with the stomp.
Yeah.
I couldn't get a good stomp. That
I was going to play the best of Jimmy clips because Jimmy sent some guy on the internet pulled like some clips from our shows, and I was going to play them because some of them were hysterical rants.
He
from the
sent
old
it to me. Jimmy
TV
sent
show.
it.
Yeah, he sent them to you. I was going to play him, but he didn't come on, so we'll do it next time.